Welcome to Grey County, where innovation meets tradition in the heart of our agricultural community. As we face the challenges of a changing climate, it is vital to strengthen the resilience of our agricultural systems from the ground up. Grey County is proud to partner in the Experimental Acres program, an initiative that empowers farmers to lead the way in sustainable agriculture. Due to shifting climate patterns, farmers are experiencing significant challenges, but within these challenges lies an opportunity. By implementing regenerative agricultural practices, we are not only enhancing soil health, but also promoting carbon sequestration and reducing greenhouse gas emissions. These practices are vital to building a resilient agricultural future. The Experimental Acres program is a farmer-led program designed to rebuild the health of our soils. Here, participating farmers craft practices tailored to their unique land conditions. The program offers monetary, educational, and social support, reducing the risks inherent in learning and trying new farming methods. Farmers know their land best, and together we are facing today's challenges to safeguard tomorrow's food security. This micro-grant program facilitates on-farm trials aimed at fostering soil health. In addition to financial support, Experimental Acres provides invaluable resources such as soil testing, research insights, and community building events.
I'm Deaken. I farm here with my wife, Ann. This farm is one farm we own. We try to produce all of our forages here. So there's 63 or 4 acres workable. So we don't really need a whole lot of volume of high fiber feed like oats and so on. Kind of took the idea that we would grow some wheat here on this field last year. So it was corn silage. It got worked, planted into wheat by the end of September. The wheat was harvested the end of July. It was combined. When we combined it, we put the spinners on the combine and spread the straw out to 35-foot head, so there was probably a 25-foot spread pattern. We raked and baled the straw, removed the residue. 5 days after that, I sprayed it to take care of any weeds that were coming. I rely pretty much entirely on custom work. I don't really have much equipment at all. 5 days after that, the custom guy was available and he came in and no-tilled this alfalfa grass mix into the bare stubble. Well, a couple people were concerned as to why I was no-tilling it. It was just an economics thing. So I would say starting hay fields after wheat isn't a new practice, but one of the drawbacks is on those fields you will see strips of volunteer wheat behind where the combine traveled. There'll be a really heavy volunteer wheat the next spring, which is fine. It'll kind of get mixed up in the feed. The bigger issue comes in year 2, 3, and 4 where you have actually a thin strip of alfalfa. The wheat has died off, it's biannual, and the alfalfa is weak because it was out-competed. I did not want that, so by putting the chaff onto the spinners, it threw out any volunteer seeds passing through the combine. Some of them would have come back with the rake, but we can walk through it. It's pretty much a uniform spread, almost as if I planted wheat in the field. We got very lucky. We planted at a depth of about ½ inch, and then I rolled it, and we got a 1/4 inch of rain, and it makes that real hot, dry spell. And just a little rain, and it was up within 5 days. That was a little unexpected, but it was 35 degrees every day with humidity and a little bit of moisture. At that shallow of depth, that plants grew right away.
Agriculture stands as one of the few sectors capable of sequestering carbon in both soils and natural areas managed by farmers. This presents a significant opportunity to reduce net greenhouse gas emissions and create a more resilient future.
I run a mixed operation. Half my land base is in cash crops, a 1/4 is in forage, pasture and hay, and a 1/4 is woodland, wetland, and river frontage. My interest and focus is on soil health, improving soil health, water quality. I've got about 5 miles of Saugeen River frontage. I run about 150 cow-calf pairs. I keep the calves until yearlings. I don't have any equipment other than some minor stuff to feed the cow in the wintertime. So everything else is custom done, which is good, and there's pluses and minuses to it. More pluses than minuses in my opinion. With 150 cow-calf pairs and 150 yearlings, my biggest cost is feed costs, especially stored feed costs. Most of my time is spent trying to figure out how to feed these animals in a proper way and as inexpensively as possible. What I'm doing now is I'm trying to extend my grazing season till the snow tells me to stop and I start winter feeding. That's the basis of the operation. When I'm using a cover crop after wheat, I've tried a few different mixes. The one that I like the best is a mixture of oats, peas, and a couple pounds of turnips. Especially if you put manure on there, it just makes a great grazing cover crop. You get a lot of feed out of it. The cattle love the oats and the peas because they're not in head, they're just starting. And the turnips usually will be about this size. And adding 1 or 2 pounds of turnips, and even bigger depending on the growing season. But adding 1 or 2 pounds of turnips just makes an amazing amount of extra feed. I started out with daikon with radish because that was the traditional cover crop that everyone puts in. The cattle don't like it. You'll have a radish this big and they just won't eat it. So I switched to turnips and they just love turnips. They'll root them out and they'll root through them in the wintertime. If the snow gets down, they'll root through and get those turnips. Even in the spring, they're out here, they'll be picking away at those turnips. So turnips are a very good addition to your repertoire of residual feeding. And it's not expensive. And 1 or 2 pounds of turnips per acre can produce a lot of feed. Because it's not a lot of work to put it on, I've got a bank of seed in the old milk house. And if I've got an opportunity, I just pop this thing on and just start spreading seed. You know, it costs next to nothing. There's no logistics. You just do it yourself. You don't have to phone anybody. It doesn't have a GPS. So, you know, it's not an issue when you're going over fields that have been planted because you just follow the rows. And other places, you know, basically you do what you can.
A priority action within Grey County's Climate Action Plan, Going Green and Grey, is to support regenerative practices that build soil health. Through continuous knowledge sharing and innovative programs, our goal is to increase beneficial practices, minimize emissions, maximize carbon capture, and strengthen soil health in Grey.
I farm here with my dad, Phil. Our operation, so we have about 450 acres. Now probably 250 of that is actually workable and the other 200 is like marginal ground or bush lot. Been here since like 1883. I'll be the 5th generation on this farm. And we farm cow-calf operation with a little bit of cash crop. So we run about 35 cow-calf right now. The experimental acres project that I had consisted of 15 acres. They're 5-acre plots, one that you just went through, and then these 2 fields here. And the idea was to plant a warm season annual mixture. So it was a 12-way mix of different legumes, grasses, brassicas, and then threw some sunflowers in there to add the daisy plant family to it. The idea was to basically graze this during the summer slump period. So the August timeframe when all the cool season perennial grasses slow down, and basically give them a rest from the cows, put all the cows on here, keep the feed value up, and then rest the perennials so that we could go back to them in the fall time frame and basically just give them a chance to rest. So we planted this early June. June was like really cold and wet, and so the warm season plants, they tend to like a warmer soil temperature to actually grow and do well. And so we held off and planted, I think like June 9th or something, and thought, like, looked at the 14-day, looked good, you know, temperatures were like high teens, but then it came in just cold and wet. And so we were really challenged because none of the cowpeas, which was 25% of the mix, germinated or came up at all. All of the other plants too they had stunted growth, so they were really slow to get started. That allowed the weed pressure to come on. So ragweed, pigweed, and foxtail further complicated or gave us further challenges in that my follow-on plan was to plant a perennial mixture into this piece and then an overwinter mix into one of the other 2 pieces, just to relay crops so that we got a cool season plant growing, which thrives in the cooler weather. So it would thrive in the fall, and then we could come back, graze the regrowth, which this field has got really good regrowth that you can see, like a ton of the brassicas have come back up. We'll regraze that. And as well, the sorghum Sudan grass has started to come back too. A lot of the stalks, you can see little shoots coming off of them. So there'll be good forage there again in the fall, at least on this piece. We'll see what the other 2 pieces plan out. But the biggest challenge now is the trash that we have on the field, or the residue we're not going to be able to no-till into that. It's just not conducive. The till won't be able to penetrate the soil the way that we need it to. With the lack of rain that we're getting in September here now, we would need 4 to 6 weeks ideally before that killing frost. This is basically the only field that I think we could maybe plant something into. That would be an experiment though, for sure. And so that would be the only piece that we'd be able to try. Given kind of those challenges and like lessons learned from this project, probably in subsequent years, I think what we did get for like the sorghum Sudans and the legumes and the brassicas, like this field, when we walked through it, it was probably like 5 or 6 feet tall. Like there was a lot of biomass in the field and there was a lot of good feed. Protein levels were like 14% and TDN was like 60, which is really good forage for the cows. So I think there was a lot of good value in that, in the idea that I had. But I think in subsequent years, what I might do is plant a cool season mix at the beginning of the year so that we can come right out, graze that a couple of times, and then end of June, as long as the weather is right and we get the rain, then we would no-till a warm season mix into that to be able to come back in September, still rest the cool season perennial grasses, graze that through September, and then come back to the cool season perennials after that. We did do soil testing on these 3 fields, and it was actually, it was nice for the experimental acres part of it, in that the field, you can't really see it, but there's a fence line that goes across there, and right on the other side is a row crop field that we've done 2 years of soybeans, followed by winter wheat. So it's identical soil conditions. So we were able to test this field and test that field to be able to compare. So that being said, the organic matter in all of these fields was, they were all 3 very comparable. They were about 6% organic matter. CO2 respiration, which is like a indication of the microbiology activity, was all really good. It was very high in all of these fields. And the carbon to nitrogen ratios were all really well balanced in these 3 fields. And then that wheat field, organic matter was 3%, so about half of what these fields were. CO2 respiration was suppressed. It was still okay, but it was suppressed, so not as much microbiology activity going on there. And then the carbon nitrogen ratios were a little bit lower than what you want, but that was all expected based on the practices that were going on there. When we did the forage samples in like early August, we tested the compaction, and it was very noticeable. Like these 3 fields, like great aggregation, like you could just scoop kind of that top 2 inches up of and it would just crumble. Like it was nice and crumbly. So anytime it rained, right, like the soil was able to absorb that, suck that water in. That wheat field, it was like hard as a rock. It rained on that field, water would pool on the surface, it wouldn't absorb. Sun would come out, evaporates off. You're only absorbing a percentage of that, where right beside any little bit of rain, you're sucking that up. So in a drought year, that's kind of the benefit of doing something like that, of the warm season mix.
We're doing some experimenting here. I can certainly take my hat off to Josh, because he's been pushing me, because I'm old school, but I'm starting to see the value in what's going on here.
Outside of experimental acres, like we had to pay for it, and so what's that return on investment? And ideally, it puts more land. If we put 15 acres back into good production that we sacrifice every winter, right? Well, that's 15 acres that we can now take out of hay crop production and put into row crop, or bring more cows onto the property, right? We can increase the business.
As a program that spans across Grey, Dufferin, and Wellington counties, Experimental Acres is building a regional network of forward-thinking farmers. These pioneers are embracing new methods and caring for the land, ensuring a sustainable future for generations to come. To learn more about the Experimental Acres program and explore current and past projects, visit grey.ca/experimentalacres. Join us as we cultivate a brighter and greener future right here in Grey County.
Okay, so the beef farmers, I think this will be most relevant. and the rest of you, hopefully it's entertaining.